There has been a recent missile attack at a town called Kramatorske at a railroad station, and there are apparently dozens of people now killed. These were people who were trying to evacuate because Russia is about to take this area. Now, the missile that hit this area is a Tochka-U, and that's not according to Russian media. That's according to the BBC. This article right here, Kramatorsky Station attack, what we know so far. Please note what this looks like. Take a look at this and keep this in mind, because I'm going to show you where else this scene has played out in a purely civilian area, and who was the obvious perpetrator of that. Take a close look at this. And also note that they wrote for children, on behalf of the children, something like that on the side of the missile. So why would Russia write that on the side of this old missile that they don't even use anymore? And it says right here, both sides say Tochka-U missiles were used. Russia being accused of using an Iskander short-range ballistic missile with a cluster munition warhead. But then he later corrected himself as saying it was a Tochka-U. Why is that important? Because Russia doesn't use Tochka-U missiles anymore. They use Iskander missiles. The only country in this war right now using Tochka-U missiles and using them on population centers, not on military targets, is Ukraine. And I'm going to show you an indisputable case of Ukraine firing a Tochka-U at a civilian population, a case the US, the European Union, the UK said absolutely nothing about. They couldn't have cared less regarding this other case. But now that it's Kramatorsk, and it's at this late hour in the war where Ukraine has depleted its military power, Mariupol has all but fallen, a land bridge established from Crimea all the way to the border with the Russian Federation, and now Ukraine's forces, tens of thousands of forces, about to be encircled and either forced to surrender or annihilated. Now we have this instant where this missile has hit a civilian area, and now the entire West is screaming about it. And remember, this is the same West that admits that they themselves and Ukraine are fighting an information war. Keep that in mind. They're saying both sides say a Tochka-U missile was used. Russia is saying that because Russia knows that they don't use these missiles. And the best that the BBC can do is say, however, an analysis points to images and videos on social media, so here we go with our open source intelligence again, that appear to show the Russian military using the Tochka-U, but they're not using the Tochka-U. They don't have Tochka-U. They're finding these things in the field, and they're assigning blame to Russia. They don't have a picture of Russia actually going around with Tochka-Us before they're fired. Show me images of that, and then I'll believe you that Russia might still be using these very outdated missiles when they have a supply of Iskander missiles to use instead. Now, here is The Guardian. Russia accused of monstrous war crime in Kramatorsk station attack. And you've got Boris Johnson. He says Russia's actions were unconscionable and a war crime, speaking at a press conference with the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz. He said Moscow should declare a ceasefire and withdraw its troops. The war has to stop immediately. Why does the war have to stop immediately, Prime Minister Boris Johnson? I thought Ukraine was winning the war. I thought Russia was 3 days away from starving. That's what I kept hearing for the last month. Why would you want the war to stop now when you've got them on the run? So it's very obvious what's going on here. Ukraine is being defeated, and this is exactly what we saw all during the Syrian conflict when the U.S., British, and EU-sponsored terrorists were being routed. They would pull something like this. They would carry out an attack on a civilian population. They would say the Syrian government did it, and then they would call for intervention. They would call for more sanctions. That's what they did throughout the entire conflict until they completely lost. And this is what we're going to see here in Ukraine.